Good evening, everybody. I'm Jonathan Wilner from Harrington Limousine Service, and I want to welcome everybody to our Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Facebook Live. The purpose is to introduce my fellow BNI members who I meet with every week. So first, I wanted to tell you who I am and what I do. My name is Jonathan Wilner. I'm third-generation owner of Harrington Limousine Service, where we provide peace of mind anywhere, anytime. So one of the things that's really very important, everybody that needs to travel really doesn't understand how much work goes into making sure that you feel comfortable in the vehicle that has to transport you from point A to point B. And I want to make sure that you understand that we take a lot of time and effort to clean the vehicle on the outside so it looks good. We also take a lot of time and effort to clean and disinfect on the inside. In addition to that, we educate our chauffeurs on how to maintain the vehicle clean and disinfected in between clients, that they are wearing their mask and their gloves, and that we have a clean and disinfected barrier between our chauffeur and our passengers. We try to provide the same service that we've always provided, but at the same time trying to also maintain social distance, which is a little difficult to ensure that you get the proper services. We provide service around the world, so we only use affiliates that are able to emulate not only the quality of service that we're providing you here locally, but to provide the quality of cleanliness and make sure that the vehicle is disinfected and clean and prepared for you. So I just wanted to share that we have all types of vehicles for all your different types of needs. We have sedans, SUVs, stretch limousines. We have 14-passenger limo buses, and we can provide you with just about anything else that you're looking for, including helicopters and jets, should that be something that you're looking for. Going on from here, the other reason that we're doing this evening is to introduce you to BNI, to my particular chapter, which is the BNI Founders. We meet every Tuesday morning at 7 o'clock in the morning. Here's our website here, bnifounders.com. And there's a link on that particular page so that should you want to entertain the idea of maybe joining a networking group, here's the link, and you can meet up with us virtually. We do meet every Tuesday at 7 o'clock in the morning. Keep that in mind, at 7 o'clock in the morning, and we all get there on time so that we can enjoy. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to one of my fellow BNI members who's unbelievably successful at what he does. I'd like to welcome Alfonso Esposito. Welcome, Alfonso. Thank you for joining us this evening. How you doing?
I'm doing great, John. How are you?
Good, thank you. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day. I know we all work long days, especially now. We have to seem to work twice as hard in order to get half the work done. So everybody out there in Facebook land and YouTube who's watching us right now, they don't know who you are and maybe not seen you, except for the people that are obviously familiar with who you are. So why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my name is Alfonso Esposito. A lot of people call me Al. I'm in the mortgage business for going on 20 years next month, and I work for a company by the name of Prime Lending. And we help people with residential home financing. So we're helping people achieve the American dream right now. And yes, I agree, we have to work a lot more hours today to get the same amount of work done.
Yeah, it's got to be tough on you, the family life, and so forth. So tell me, you're celebrating 20 years, but how did you get to Prime Lending? I mean, where were you before that? I mean, you're also kind of young guy, so 20 years probably.
I started when I was 2, and I'm just joking. How to get here? I mean, the road has been long. I don't know if we have enough time for me to go over that, but ultimately, how I've been here at Prime Lending going on 5 years. It's been the best 5 years of my life, to be honest with you. Previous to Prime Lending, I was at a company called Ditech, which used to be GMAC, a big player in the game. And I got a phone call one fall day that, hey, I got a week, we're shutting down the company and you no longer have a job. So I stayed in touch with one gentleman, and another thing led to another. And here I am at Prime Lending, going on my 5-year anniversary in 2 months.
Wow, that's really awesome. But I need to understand, I mean, what influenced you to get to Prime Lending? I mean, I said, granted, you one door closed, another one open, but I'm sure with the talent that you had, I mean, like you said, 20 years, you're only 5 years with Prime Lending. With the talent that you had, you probably could have written your own ticket. Why didn't you go to one of the other big players?
Yeah, so I mean, there's 2 reasons. I'm going to give you the right reason. The gentleman that I work with now, he was at a different company, and he interviewed me and didn't offer me the job. And I was super qualified, to be honest, not to be arrogant. And he called me a week later and said, listen, I don't want to ruin your career. This is not the place for you. You're a relationship guy. We're not. We're all about servicing our portfolio. We're really not about the relationship. And I respected that. And he sent me a personal note. And the personal note, and he knows this to this day, is what did it. I saved that personal note that he wrote me. And when the time was right and I was in a position I needed to find somewhere to work, I called him. And when I interviewed and sat down with him, the core values of Prime Lending, our core values, and we have them and they hang on our walls, were my core values. And it was a people-centric company. One team, one purpose. We're to be agile, and we're all about the customer. So to me, that's exactly what I was looking for. And it was just honestly a match made in heaven. And I believe that one door closed that opened this amazing opportunity up for me.
Well, that's an amazing story. I mean, granted, I'm sure there's a lot more detail that goes behind that. But the short version is great. I'm just curious, during this pandemic, and we're all kind of working remotely and from home, and like I said before, we're working twice as hard to get half the efforts done. Tell me how this has actually impacted the mortgage industry, and especially for you.
Yeah, great question. The cool thing, there's nothing cool about COVID, but the cool thing is that Prime Lending, 68% of our employees were already working from home previous to COVID. So we were agile, and that's one of our core values. So we were already ready. Not a lot changed in that regards because we had 70% of our workflow force, working from home. Secondly, we had to pivot, and we pivoted quickly. A lot of our underwriters, processors were all working at home. Our offices did shut down during COVID from March to the end of June, and we all worked from home. And the impact to the consumer, not so much me, is really just capacity. Our industry is over capacitized right now. Everybody's refinancing. People are leaving New York and the city areas and trying to go to the suburbs. So it was the busiest it's ever been in history, on top of us all being at home. So I think that just really led to working for a company that does have those core values, that do care, and made some really tough decisions on hiring more people to support us and making sure we were set up. And we did a lot of this right here, these videos, a ton of Zoom meetings, a ton of WebEx, and we're okay. We're on the other side of this now, in my opinion, in regards to business almost as usual.
So tell me, what are the biggest challenges that you see right now during this pandemic? I mean, I'm sure people that have lost their jobs or solely on unemployment, I'm sure they're saying, oh my God, I can't afford this house, they got to move, or they're saying, is there a way for me to refinance or something? What happens? Is that one of the big challenges now?
Yeah, it was a very big challenge, because when the government stepped in with the CARES Act, they allowed people to go into what's called forbearance. And what that allows you to do is skip up to 3 to 6 months of payments. When you go into forbearance, you can't get a mortgage. So all those people that didn't need forbearance now can't buy a house or refinance a house until 3 months after. So that was a big issue. And unfortunately, part of the CARES Act, they didn't explain that. And the lenders were just pushing everybody to do this and didn't know the details. So one of the biggest challenges was that. The second piece is, the unemployment. And obviously that was huge. I mean, a lot of people did lose their jobs and people were in trouble. But luckily with the forbearance package, a lot of those people that needed the forbearance were able to take advantage. So I think on the other side of that, a lot of people were helped. The other challenge is capacity, as I said earlier. A lot of lenders weren't ready for last quarter. We did $1.3 trillion in business. We did 1.3 trillion in the year of 2019. So we did the same amount of business in 3 months during a pandemic, all working at home, lenders closing their doors down and not taking new loans during a certain period of time. And to me, that was just an amazing opportunity for us to come together and just help people, because these loans, these refinancing and these purchases are truly helping people. In my opinion, saving people money, getting people out of areas that are high risk. And I think we really came together as a unity, as a group in the mortgage industry.
Wow, that's a lot of information. So, what do you see in your daily routine has changed since the pandemic? I mean, it feels like forever ago that we were meeting in person, So,
yeah.
How's your routine changed?
Yeah. At first, I was confused, to be honest with you, on what to do. I didn't want to call too many people because I don't know what people were going through on their own levels when COVID really hit. What changed in my daily routine? Not much. I'm like you, John. I know you're an early riser. I'm an early riser. I believe the early bird gets the worm, no matter what the situation is. So my routine just went to more virtual. Luckily, I was doing a lot of video prior to COVID, so I was very comfortable on the camera. I was doing a lot of direct consumer videos. So when we went to Zoom, it was natural for me in a weird way. I know with BNI, we went to Zoom, so I was super comfortable with that. I think the only thing that changed, I was stuck in my house for a while, and I had to make some, decisions with the kids being home schooled theoretically, right? I think that's the only routine that really changed. We were still working our full days. We had an office set up for, my wife works for me, Karen. So we were pretty set up here. I think just what changed was we were 100% virtual at that point.
Wow, it's got to be tough. I know that we're having a hard time and so forth, employees.
Sure.
So what are your thoughts? What is it? Your thoughts on where we're going today versus going forward from this point. Do you feel like we're at the end of this pandemic? That things are gonna like within a few weeks, maybe a month or so, we're gonna flip a switch and we're all gonna be starting walking around and being like nothing ever happened again? Or
yeah. I mean, I'm not Debbie Downer, but I think this has changed the world forever. I really do. I think we'll get back to normalcy. My personal opinion, maybe next year. I think we're still going to be wearing the mask. We're doing a lot of virtual. I want to get back to normalcy. I want to be able to, shake your hand or give you a hug at some point. I think we're going to be in this for a little while because we're not clear on what some of the impacts are. I think things have gotten better. I think some of the governors and the government really helped get us in our houses, try to stay in our houses, not go to restaurants, not go here, not go there. I mean, obviously some of us don't like that, but I know it helped, right? So in business, I think it also opened up that we can all kind of work from home. A lot of us, unless we're, a retail shop, we can stay home. I mean, guys like you in your business, you need to be with people, right? You transport people, so that needs to open up, right? But I think guys in my arena or even real estate or anything, we were doing it virtually. We were going into a house with a camera. We were showing people the house. We were doing virtual open houses. So I think a lot of good came out of it for business in my industry. I just don't think that's for everybody, and that's extremely unfortunate. So I hope we get back to normalcy way sooner than later. I truly hope that maybe we get through the winter and then we can start feeling normal again, and I think a lot of us have been hurt by it and not feeling so normal. So I want to get back there.
Yeah, 2021, we're looking forward to a better year.
Yeah.
People are going to remember 2020 as, oh my God, I can't believe I survived it. Or when 2020 really took a toll. So many people have lost, and they've lost a lot. And it's a shame. It goes all the way around the world. I feel it here in New Jersey because this is where I live.
Yeah.
Let's touch on BNI a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You were invited. I don't know. Somebody sent you a note in the mail or called you up. How'd that work?
Past client of mine was worked for a gentleman that was in our BNI group, Jeremy, and he called me and he's like, dude, I had such a great experience with you. You'd be a good fit. He was in BNI in a different chapter, my client. By the way, he didn't use that mortgage guy, so I kind of felt honored by that in his group. And I came and interviewed, and I've looked at BNI before. I never thought it was a good fit for me based on the group, and not to pick on any groups. I actually met you, Jonathan, years ago, and loved your energy and loved everything you were about. But I didn't, decide to join that particular chapter. So fast forward, my boss in end of 2019, he runs a chapter himself. He's like, you should get in, man. It's not a bad thing. You're good at referring and you're good with structure and networking. I said, all right, let me do it. So I went to the group, felt awesome. I mean, the founders are some special people, ran by you and our going to be new president, Ed, and our past president, Matt. It was just comfortable, man. The vibe was good. The people were nice. It wasn't salesy. It wasn't pitchy. So I loved what I saw. And that's how I kind of got into BNI through a past client and my boss being in BNI itself for 8 years.
Mm-hmm. Tell me, who's a good? I mean, obviously you do residential mortgages and so forth. So anybody who's looking to buy a house would be a good referral for you. But there's professionals out there that probably refer to you business on a regular basis. Who are those individuals that you would like to meet up with? That maybe we can reach out to the people here on Facebook. Anybody out there? I don't see anybody, so I can't see it. Wait, let me look. I don't see any.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody, but who are the professions that you would like to see? Maybe invite them to our chapter, see what it's all about. Come to one of our virtual Zoom meetings.
Yeah, I mean, I think a chiropractor would be a great one. We all can help each other. We're all in business, so I don't think it really matters what you do. You can always refer, in my opinion. For our group, electrician, a plumber. I mean, I'm in real estate. I do the mortgage end, but I have a lot of clients that need these referrals. I believe a contractor, right? We're looking for one of those. That is a fruitful seat in our group, in regards to who's in there and how we refer. I think anybody, honestly, Jonathan, looking to build their business and have relationships with people. But I think the big word here with BNI is accountable. You're accountable. You got to show up every morning, 7 a.m., not 7 p.m. You can't miss too many. There's attendance rules. You can't be late. So I think anybody that's serious about growing their business would be a good fit.
It's good. So if, in case anybody didn't notice, Alfonso Esposito here from Prime Lending, and I'm Jonathan Wilner from Harrington Limo. Is there anybody out there that would like to ask Al a question about the business? Anybody? If not, what's this? Okay. Al, people that are unemployed right now, do they have a hard time getting a mortgage?
Yeah, valid question. Thank you for asking. Yes, unless it's a seasonal job like a plumber or a union electrician, and they're on unemployment, we can use that unemployment income. If somebody unfortunately just lost their job and have no employment and there's no future return date, then yes, they would have a very hard time, pretty much a slim to none chance of getting a loan, unfortunately.
And another question here is there any advice for anybody that's still employed? Obviously, you're still employed and they want to refinance. Is there a checklist or something that they could use to make sure that they get all their ducks in a row before they go apply for a mortgage?
Yeah, that's a great question too. Expectations and clarity and putting a mortgage strategy up front is huge. So they can go to my website. I believe it's lo.com/alfonso.esposito, and there's checklists for that. But for me, because I'm a relational kind of guy, I like having that conversation. I want to have this right here. let's talk about your situation, because Jonathan, you own a business. Mike, I don't know who Mike is, but he's a pretend client for a minute, may work at a company. I'm asking you two for different things, okay? But in general, yes, there's a general list on my website of what's needed on how to qualify for a loan. But me personally, it's a mano a mano. Let's talk about your particular situation, because it's not general to everybody.
Well, that's good information. Are there minimum credit scores?
Minimum credit scores. Yeah, with COVID, that's a great question. I believe I saw Prague ask that. How you doing, Prague? Yeah, ultimately, credit scores they have gone up a little bit. So conventional, you can go as low as a 620, and FHA is about the same. Now, previous to COVID, 580 was the minimum credit score for an FHA loan. 620 has been the threshold for a conventional loan ever since I've been in this business, and that's been a while. So ultimately, credit score is only one piece of qualifying as well. Every loan gets ran through underwriting. You can have a 700 and not get a loan, and you can have a 640 and get a loan. So there's algorithms built. I don't want to get too deep into that, but good question. Credit score minimum is really 620 right now. I do see that getting better, probably not to Q1 next year.
Cool. So once again, why don't you go over how people can get in touch with you? What's the best way to get in touch with you?
Well, John, if we go back to my first year in 2001 in the business, you could call my office line, and that was it. Now, you can call my office line, you can call my phone, you can text me, you can email me, you can send me a message on Facebook, you can Facebook me, you can Instagram me, you can Yelp me. Yeah, so you can send me smoke signals, and you can get a hold of me. So anyway is really
Here's your information on the screen, Al. So just popped up there. Connect with Alfonso via email or call, which is good information. Another way, everybody, in case you wanted to see and talk to Al on another level by joining us at one of our BNI meetings on Tuesday morning at 7 o'clock in the morning. Here's the link, bnifounders.com. And on there's a little yellow tab. Click on that, and it brings you right to our Zoom meeting. So please join us. And if you'd like to reach out to me, it's Jonathan. It's Jay Wilner at HarringtonLimo.com. And you can always go to HarringtonLimo.com, and you can find me there. Send us an email, call us, whatever you like, or reach us on Facebook and so forth. So just like Al said, there's so many different avenues to get in touch with us.
Yeah, I'd like to leave off with one thing with Jonathan, and I know, Jonathan, not to cut you off, sure. Jonathan provides a great service. Anybody that's watching, that I'm friends with, Jonathan, I've used him, and he owns a limo company, a transportation company. And when I'm saying first class, I hired him to help me surprise my wife on her birthday during COVID. We did take a limo. We rented it, if that's what we can consider it, rented it. His staff was amazing. Jonathan was amazing. Working with him was amazing. We had probably the time of our life it was in May during COVID. And honestly, my children, the grins and the happiness, and surprising my wife and her best friend. We took a limo to Brooklyn to her favorite restaurant. And honestly, I'll never forget that memory. So I think Jonathan does transportation, but he also creates memories. And I think we need that right now. So Jonathan, I just want to say thank you for your excellent service and also having me today.
Well, I'm blushing right now in case you can't tell, but thank you very much for the amazing accolades about the services that we've worked so hard to provide for our friends and family, and that's what I consider all our clients, everybody who uses us. So thank you very much. We're gonna cut it off right now, and I want to thank everybody for watching, and I appreciate all the comments and the questions. And Al, thank you very much for taking time out of your day to sit with us and tell us a little about what you do and how you do it and how you make it look so easy, like the DIY shows. Thank you very much. Good night, everybody. Thank you.